Hello starfish and seahorses, and welcome to a brand new week and a brand new story. Now, I hope you're all well. I hope you all had lots of fun looking at the princess and the wizard last week, and I hope none of you have melted in the temperatures that we've been having this week, because holy moly, it has been warm, hasn't it? Before I tell you about this week's story, I would just like to say a massive thank you to everyone who took part in our online meetings last week. It was so lovely to see your faces and to have a chat with you. And I know Miss Morris had lots of fun talking to her class too. So we will be doing the same again this week. Keep your eyes peeled for your invitation, and if you'd like to come and join us, you can click on there and we'll see you online. A bit of exciting news for those of you who are in school as well, because this week Miss Morris and I will be arranging a meeting with all of you too. So that's brilliant for us, because it means that we will have got to see every one of your lovely faces, which makes us both so happy. So teachers in school who are looking after you will be in touch with them, and we will arrange a time that we can get to talk with you too. Right, let's get down to business. We are carrying on with our Crazy Castles theme with another princess themed story this week. This week we're looking at Princess Mirror-Belle and the Dragon Pox. Now, it's another Julia Donaldson story. She's keeping us busy, isn't she, old Julia Donaldson? And this week, Princess Mirror-Belle is our princess. Now, if you have a look at the front cover here, can you see a princess anywhere on there? Not quite so obvious, is it, this week? So I wonder who our princess is going to be. Let's have a look for some other clues about what might happen in this week's story. Now, the story is called Princess Mirror-Belle and the Dragon Pox. Oof! What on earth are dragon pox? So someone in our story is going to get poorly, I think, aren't they? Can you have a guess? Who do you think it might be? And how do you think they're going to get dragon pox? Doesn't sound very nice, does it? We'll have to read the story and find out. What else have we got on here? Up here, look, we've got 3 fairies. Can anyone have a guess about what they might do in our story? And then down on the floor, got all of these bits and bobs from a bathroom in a mess. I wonder what she's been up to with all of those things. And I wonder what her mum will say when she sees the bathroom. And look, she's only wearing one slipper. It's a bit strange. Lots of funny things for us to think about in this story, isn't there? Are you ready to find out what happens? Come on then, let's start our story and see what happens to Princess Mirror-Belle and the Dragon Pox.
Ellen had chicken pox. She was covered in spots. "You mustn't scratch them," said Mum. Ellen put on her right slipper. She had lost her left one and went to look at her spots in the bathroom mirror. The spot on her nose was so itchy. Surely a tiny little scratch wouldn't do any harm. Ellen lifted a finger to her nose. Then she jumped when a voice from the mirror said, "Don't scratch, you might turn into a toad." Could this really be happening? Could Ellen's reflection really be talking to her? Before Ellen could reply, the mirror girl went on, "You've got really bad dragon pox." "No, I haven't," said Ellen. "I've got chicken pox, and so have you. You're my reflection." Does anybody know what a reflection is? And where might you see one? "Don't be silly," said the mirror girl, and the next second she had jumped out of the mirror and was in the bathroom with Ellen. "I'm Princess Mirror-Belle. You really ought to curtsy, but as you're my friend, I'll let you off. Here she is then, here's our princess." Are you really a princess? Asked Ellen. But you look just like me. You've got the same pyjamas. You've even lost one of your slippers like me. No, I haven't, said Mirror-Belle. She paused for a second and then continued. My slipper was stolen by a goblin. They're always stealing slippers. They like to sleep in them. Ellen laughed. Do they have little sheets and pillows? She said. Never mind that, said Mirror-Belle. We need to get started on the cure for dragonpox. And she put the plug in the bath and turned on the taps. But I haven't got dragonpox, said Ellen. Well, I have, Mirror-Belle said firmly. You see, a dragon captured me last week and carried me off to his mountain lair. Luckily a knight came and rescued me, but when I got home, I came out in these terrible spots. Did the knight want to marry you? Asked Ellen. But Mirror-Belle seemed not to hear her. Ah, so that's how you get dragonpox. You have to be captured by a dragon. Just you stay safe, everyone. No going near dragons. Now then, can you remember on the front cover we spotted all of those bathroom bits? Can you make a guess now about what they might use them for in the story? Now then, said Mirror-Belle, on with the cure. This stuff looks good. She grabbed a bottle of bubble bath and squirted it into the water. Then, how odd, she exclaimed as hundreds of bubbles appeared. Don't you have bubble bath back home? Asked Ellen. Certainly not, said Mirror-Belle, but we do have bubble fish. They swim around in the water and blow thousands of bubbles. They're much better. But isn't the bath water a bit hot for the fish? Asked Ellen. Never mind that, said Mirror-Belle. Let's get in. We need some more ingredients, said Mirror-Belle when they were both in the bath. Let's try this. Before Ellen could stop her, she had squirted a whole tube of toothpaste into the water. Hey, now we won't be able to clean our teeth, Ellen protested. But can't you get the fairies to clean your teeth? Asked Mirror-Belle. No, I don't know any fairies. And what would they use instead of toothpaste? Well, our fairies collect dewdrops from rose petals and use that, said Mirror-Belle. How does it stick to the toothbrushes? Asked Ellen. I do wish you wouldn't ask so many questions, said Mirror-Belle. Now what do we think of Mirror-Belle? Do you think she's telling the truth all the time? And why do you think she never wants to answer Ellen's questions? It's a bit strange, isn't it? Let's get on with finding the cure. How about this? And she squirted in some white foam from a spray can. Stop, cried Ellen. That's my dad's shaving cream. Well, I think he should stop shaving, like my father the king, said Mirror-Belle. Does your father have a beard then? Asked Ellen. Of course he does. It's so long it reaches the ground. He needs 2 servants to walk ahead of him to carry it, and sometimes birds make their nests in it. Ellen laughed. And do the birds fly in and out feeding worms to their babies? She asked. What do we think? Is she going to answer Ellen's question this time? Mirror-Belle didn't reply. Instead, she poured a bottle of shampoo into the bath. How will we wash our hair now? Asked Ellen. I wouldn't bother washing it, said Mirror-Belle. When my hair gets dirty, I just say a magic spell and wish for some different hair. My hair doesn't always look like yours, you know. Last week I had golden curls, and the week before that I had red ringlets. I'd love to do that, said Ellen. What's the magic spell? Is she going to tell her? I'll tell you later, said Mirror-Belle, and she splashed some frothy, creamy, foamy, toothpastey bathwater at Ellen. Ellen giggled and splashed some back. This was beginning to be fun. But then she noticed that the bathroom floor was getting really wet from all the splashing. Oh dear, my mum will be a bit cross, she said. Why will her mummy be cross, guys? Really? How peculiar. My mother, the Queen, is cross if I don't splash the floor. In fact, she likes me to splash it so much that the whole bathroom is like a paddling pool. Then she paddles about in it to wash her feet, and so do all the palace maids. Doesn't the water drip down through the floor below? Asked Ellen. thought I told you to stop asking questions, said Mirror-Belle. Now, what do we think about how Mirror-Belle is talking to Ellen? Do you think she's being a very kind friend by never answering her questions? Do you think she's being very polite and respectful like we try to be in school? I'm not so sure. Now it's time to get dry and put our pyjamas back on. But we're still all spotty, said Ellen as she put on her slipper. The cure hasn't worked. That's because we haven't done part 2 yet, said Mirror-Belle. What's part 2? asked Ellen. This. Mirror-Belle picked up a roll of loo paper and started to wind it round and round Ellen, who laughed. What about you? she asked. Oh, we'll do me later, said Mirror-Belle, carrying on winding. Before long, Ellen's whole body was covered in loo paper and Mirror-Belle had started on her face. Then, close your eyes and count to 100, she said. So Ellen did. Now, what do you think she's going to see when she opens her eyes? 98, 99, 100. Oh, now someone counted to 100 in last week's story as well, didn't they? Can you remember who it was? Well done, it was that wicked wizard, wasn't it? Ellen ripped off the paper and opened her eyes. Where are you, Mirror-Belle? she asked. She looked around the empty room and saw that the door handle was turning. Who do you think it's going to be? But it wasn't Mirror-Belle. Instead, Ellen's mum came into the bathroom. Uh-oh. What do you think her mum is going to say? What would your mummy say if she walked into the bathroom and it looked like that? Ellen, what have you been doing? she said, as she looked at the watery, foamy room and all the empty tubes and bottles. It wasn't me, it was Princess Mirror-Belle, said Ellen. She came out of the mirror. She was trying to cure my chicken pox. Oh, and I suppose she's gone back into the mirror now, said Ellen's mum. Ellen looked at the mirror over the basin. It was covered in toothpastey bubbles. Yeah, I think she has, she said. What do you think, guys? Do you think Princess Mirror-Belle was real? Do you think she really came in and did all those things in the bathroom? Or do you think it was Ellen that did them? Ellen's mum sighed. Then she looked at Ellen. Actually, your spots do look quite a bit better, she said. That one on your nose has disappeared. And look, she added, picking something out of the basin. Here's your left slipper. Ellen said nothing, but she smiled as she put on the slipper. She knew it wasn't really her slipper. It belonged to Princess Mirror-Belle. And that's the end of our story this week. Now, what did you think of it? Did you enjoy it? I wonder which one you liked more. Did you like Princess and the Wizard more or Princess Mirror-Belle? I wonder if you've got a favourite part of the story this week. I liked where they were making the dragon cure. I thought that looked like fun. Now then, on the left there, you will see that there's a pretty fabulous picture of a castle and all the things that we're learning about at the moment too. We've got the building, we've got a king and queen, we've got a princess, we've got a knight with his armour on and a horse and a dragon. Lots of different things to do with our topic. I wonder if you've managed to learn anything new about castles yet. And if you haven't, maybe you could use this week to try and find out all the different parts that a castle is made up from.
Okay then, starfish and seahorses, it's over to you. Off you go. Have lots of fun this week exploring your story and our castle topic and anything else fabulous that you're getting up to at home or in school. And I will look forward to seeing you in our meetings a bit later in the week. Take care everyone, stay safe, have fun.